Our professional development is all about multiliteracies, what they are and how they can be incorporated into your teaching and learning practices. Traditionally, to teach literacy has meant teaching and learning to read and write in page-bound official standard forms of the national language. But the world is changing, and therefore how we define literacy is changing. Now, to be fully functioning in the 21st century requires using new literacies in order to navigate this digital, social and multicultural era. As educators, we are now preparing our students for a complex world that is radically unknowable. Yesterday's education is not sufficient for today's learner, so it is our responsibility to evolve and embrace the literacies of the future. Multiliteracy represents a dynamic form of literacy that aims to create meaning for all, regardless of cultural, social, or domain-specific contexts. This means that communication and representation of meaning today increasingly requires that learners are able to figure out differences in patterns of meaning from one context to another. These differences could include culture, gender, life experience, or social domain. Meaning is made in ways that are increasingly multimodal. Multimodality is where written linguistic modes of meaning combined with oral, visual, audio, gestural, tactile and spatial patterns of meaning. The process of shifting between these modes and re-representing the same thing from one mode to another is called synesthesia. This allows for powerful learning in a number of ways. Some learners may be more comfortable in one mode than another. For example, one person may express meaning through drawing a diagram, while another may express meaning through words in a song. One mode may be a starting point for meaning. An addition of other modes allows for a more complex, deeper understanding. For example, if words don't make sense, a diagram might, and then this diagram might allow the words to make sense. Multiple modes together will have a greater meaning than only one alone. Technology plays a big part in multimodal writing. However, 21st century literacy is not about incorporating technology just for the sake of it. We need to consider the pedagogical reasons for drawing on these particular technologies in all classrooms. So in summary, multiliteracies in the 21st century reflect social worlds, cultural and linguistic diversities, technology and multimodal ways of learning in order to create meaning and develop critical thinkers of our students. So in our already demanding high-pressure job as teachers, how do we implement a pedagogy of multiliteracies? It's not about just adding technology or multimedia to our lessons. It requires us to rethink why we teach and how we teach it. Cope and Calantis reframed their original multiliteracy pedagogy from 1996 to these more immediately recognisable pedagogical acts, or knowledge processes. They are experiencing, conceptualising, analysing, and applying. This image shows how there is no particular order for how they must be taught, but more a weaving from one pedagogical process to the next. In the next few slides, we will break down each process and provide examples of how you can use them within your teaching. Experiencing takes two forms. Experiencing the known involves reflecting on our own experiences, interests, perspectives, and familiar ways of representing the world. You want the students to bring their own diversity to the learning situation. Experiencing the new entails observing or reading the unfamiliar. New knowledge can be introduced via different activities such as listening, viewing, visiting, locating, or immersing. Conceptualising involves identifying or naming through glossaries, labelling, sorting, and categorising. When students conceptualise, they also theorise by working on concept maps, discussing cause and effect, comparing and contrasting, making decisions, and summarising. Analysing occurs both functionally and critically. When analysing functionally, learners explore cause and effect, develop change or reasoning, and explain patterns in text. Analysing critically involves evaluation of your own and other people's perspectives, interests, and motives. Critical analysis is a deeper level that can include debating, predicting, reviewing, identifying stereotypes, and exploring human interest and motivation. Finally, checking for understanding through applying appropriately and creatively needs to be carried out. Students must apply appropriately their knowledge and understanding firstly to the real world and test their validity. However, they also must be able to innovate and create, developing new texts for an audience within a different setting, using the appropriate technology, contextual language, and other modes to create purpose. We need our students to not only be consumers and bystanders of text, we need them to become members of a participatory culture in which they are producers and designers of our social future. In the 21st century, it is not enough for students to be able to read and write or use various technologies. We need our students to understand, comprehend, interpret, and communicate with the world around us. They need to be more than just literate. They need to be multiliterate.